Hey everybody, this is Dan from Daniel Benjamin Photography. This is actually the first video I've ever done. I look forward to maybe doing some more in the future. What I wanted to share with you guys today was D850 I was able to procure on the first day thanks to my NPS membership. An NPS member here in Canada, so we'll just start opening it up. Service warranty card, all the usual stuff, everything you've seen before, nothing all too magnificent or special. I literally haven't opened this yet, so everything's still like cardboard fresh. We have the body itself. I'll just set it down. Plug, wall charger, super useful. I like the new style chargers anyway as opposed to the old ones. Let's get the battery out. Other junk, strap, battery, useful USB 3 cable. It's a normal USB 3 connection. We'll just set all the rest of everything aside. So I think that this is a new ENEL 15A battery, which I don't know, should provide a few more shots. If I actually had the time and the effort, I would compare the milliamp hour rating. I'm pretty sure this one will be like slightly higher because it provides like a couple hundred more shots, I think. And we'll set all the rest of this stuff aside, open up the body. I won't be doing a really full review here. What I think I'm going to do in the end is actually, I have 2 weddings this weekend and another one next weekend. So I think I'm going to shoot through the whole weekend. This will probably be my main body because I'm really used to the D500. I've been using it for maybe about half a year. So what I think I'll do is I'll put it through its paces this year, put a few thousand clicks through it this weekend, put it through its paces and see how it performs. And my gut instinct is that if it performs anything like the D500, which I really expect it to, then I'll be selling my D810 and my D500 and buying a second D850. I think it's pretty beneficial to be shooting 2 bodies that are exactly the same. Number one, you can sync the settings precisely across, so you have really consistent color when you're switching between from body to body. Sorry, my dog's barking. Bowie, quiet. And secondly, for workflow purposes, when you have 2 of the same body and you're editing in Lightroom or Capture One or whatever, I don't have any experience with Capture One, but I would imagine that, let's say you have a series of images that you went back and forth like I do between, let's say, a 35 or a 24 and an 85, or whatever combination you might have, then being able to copy and paste settings across and have really accurate results. If any of you have ever tried to edit weddings or any other type of event where you have 5 different cameras, let's say, between 2 or 3 different photographers, and all the colors are different. Nice thing is if you have the same profiles going across, like you sync the settings, and I don't mean the regular settings, I mean like all of the settings, which you can actually do through the menu system. You can kind of export your settings from one and import them to the other. The nice thing about that is that it should cut down on your editing time, especially if you cut down to only using 2 instead of 3 cameras or something like that. I shoot with 3 cameras a lot because I actually still shoot a lot of work with my D700 because it is, in my opinion, the sensor is just unbelievable. The skin tones that it produces, no other Nikon camera to date has been able to do anything like that. So, we've got very low charge on this battery, but we're in program automatic. Everything looks really nice. That viewfinder is huge. I find that, you know, I'm really looking around. I got to play with this earlier in the store as well. Even though I had it on pre-order, I kind of just wanted to play around with it a little bit, but the cool thing was, my eyes actually, and if you've ever used a medium format camera or anything like that, you'll know that your eye has room to really kind of like track around. And I'm sort of noticing that with the D850, which is really nice. But I have yet to take a single image or do anything of that nature with this camera so far. So I'll probably do that. I don't think you guys want another spec showdown or anything like that. It's a very well specified camera. Everything that should be there is there in my opinion. I don't really care for the whole SnapBridge connectivity. It's not that it's a gimmick. Some people really will use it. People that maybe are more active on social media and stuff like that, but it's not really something that maybe I don't use it enough because SnapBridge really sucks. So maybe fix it, Nikon, and then we can talk. But regardless of that, I'm actually really excited to shoot just some for fun. My sister's about to have twins tomorrow morning, hopefully. And I'm really excited to shoot some 4K video and some really slow-mo 1080p video of the kids. And just hopefully have really, really amazing AF tracking, especially in dark situations. I do use mostly off-camera flash anyway, but that doesn't help you with the actual tracking of your subject, especially on the dance floor. I shoot a lot of weddings. I shoot mostly weddings. And on the dance floor, things tend to move really quickly. And I like to have not just a few winners from the dance floor. I like to have as many as possible. Bowie, go. And yeah, so lucky for me, I already have some XQD cards thanks to my D500 acquisition however many months ago. So I know what to expect in terms of the knob, the usage of the camera. I would expect everything to be pretty similar. The body otherwise feels really good. It's supposed to be heavier than the D810, but it feels pretty close. I guess I could probably do a side-by-side if I actually cared enough, but unfortunately I really don't. What else am I excited about for this camera? I'm not really too sure. I am excited that, I did actually, with the D500, I did test the full-size, medium, and small format RAWs. I know they're 12-bit. I know they don't have as much data, but like, if you're missing your exposure by more than a couple stops, I think go back and rethink how you're shooting, especially during events or anything like that. Hopefully you really should not be relying on that type of, saving grace. Rather, it'll probably be an easier thing for you to do to shoot a little bit better, instead of spraying and praying and seeing what your exposure is like. Have a good grasp of your settings and what you're doing while you're doing it, and hopefully that'll kind of help. Sorry for the dog wandering around. He's not really aware of what I'm doing, I suppose. Everything else feels just like any other brand new camera. Like, I'm not going to say that it's revolutionary in any respect. It's definitely evolutionary. The viewfinder is really cool, I'm finding. I look forward to actually, putting it side by side with my 810 or my 700 or the 500, which also has, I think, a similar magnification ratio, and seeing just how noticeable that difference is. Otherwise, the design, in terms of ergonomics, I would say it feels just like the D500, which has felt really, really good in hand. I have huge mitts, relatively, so I think that should fit me quite well. Those of you with smaller hands, bonus. I think you're gonna have extra grip room here. For me, I mean, if my fingertips are touching the inside here, which they almost never do, I'm usually squeezing inwards. The tops of my third pad are not touching the grip. It'll be just lifted off, and then there is this sort of like thumb. I wouldn't call it an indentation, but like a thumb rest, and you can really grip the camera quite well that way. I mean, this isn't their first camera. They've built lots with different ergonomics, and they know what they're doing. So, again, I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I do like the idea of that silent shooting mode. I kind of wish it wasn't only in live view. I'm not really fully understanding the point of that. Let's see if we can't just like get that up. So we'll go into photo live view, and then we go to press I, and you have like a couple different options here. I mean, you could change the aspect ratio that you're recording in, electronic front curtain shutter, photo live view, display white balance. I wonder what that is. Silent live view. So you have to scroll down. There's two menus. You have to scroll down. Again, I haven't done this yet. Silent. There's SL1 and SL2. I don't think I'm going to read the manual. I'm going to assume they both do something pretty similar. But the peaking is also something I'm really, really looking forward to playing with and seeing what that does. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So some of the info screens that you can scroll through are actually really useful. I forgot to test the touch menu capabilities, which actually was not something I really missed in the D500 or anything like that, because I've never had it before. But based on what all the reviews of the, I think it's like the Leica TL series cameras, people were really liking it. So it seems pretty good. I'm just playing around, going from place to place, file naming. There we go. So it's, I don't know, I actually always have trouble with even my iPhone and stuff like that, just getting the touch to work exactly the way I want it to. But I think this will be really good for like entering those copyright information, things like that. It would be a lot easier to type it rather than use the D-pad. I wonder if you can actually, hold on, use... So you can't actually even use the little nubbin to scroll through that stuff, which, I mean, I guess that's okay, but that would help scrolling. But I guess now that it's touchscreen, it doesn't even matter. Image area. So you can shoot, that's right, you can shoot video. So 4K at 30. I'm only seeing a 1080 option up to 60p. Oh, there it is. Okay. I wonder why they did it this way. It's kind of odd. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you can only record at the like 120 frames per second at an equivalent of 24p, which is like more, I think it's like the more cinematic sort of frame rate. I think 23.97, if I'm not mistaken. Then there's 30p at ×4 slow-mo, and 25p at ×4 slow-mo, and then 24p at ×5 slow-mo. So, interesting options. I guess, like, I'll look forward to playing with that. I wonder why they kind of labeled it this way. It kind of almost feels like, I don't know, like it wasn't really intended, or it was a gimmick or something, but especially since they don't really list the exact frame rates, they go by, like, times or multiplying factors, which is kind of strange. But anyways, movie quality and stuff. I don't shoot a lot of video, to be honest, but it's something I'm always into. It's something I'm always looking to do more of. I think it's pretty fun. I just really hate editing video. I really gotta one day read through one of these entire manuals, because there's a whole lot of stuff here that, I mean, most of it is pretty self-explanatory, but like I have no idea what is an attenuator. I really don't know. So that should be interesting to go through and see all that stuff. What I kind of want to see is, I mean, they have a preview button here, which is really inset. Like on the D700, it was like this big flat sort of button, and I think on the D810, it's also kind of like that. Here it's cut and inset, and it's almost like your finger just wants to rest there, which is really nice. Like your fingernail just naturally sort of digs into this little groove here. It's probably hard to see from this distance, but so there's a preview button and a function 1 button, and then my guess is there's a function 2 button down here. On the D810, you know, everybody praised the D500 for coming out with the ISO button right here, but on the D810 you could just program in photo mode the record button, which did nothing otherwise. My dog might flip the camera right now, so FYI, a little heads up. Bowie, stop. The record button that actually did nothing for photo side, like on the photo side in the D810, could actually be programmed to do ISO, which is what I did. And so when I transitioned over to the D500, not that I transitioned, but it became a second body, the ISO button was not really something like revolutionary for me. It is great to have there. I wonder if you can assign the record button to do other cool stuff. Maybe, I don't know, maybe quickly go from, it'd be cool, what would be really, really cool is, for me in particular, is if there was a way to program one of those function buttons. I'm gonna look it up. It probably is possible, but one of these function buttons or the record button in photo mode to go from full size RAW to medium size or small, to have that selection available instantly, like the same way that I used to program the function button to go from FX to DX, just to get a little bit of that zoom. Let's say like I shoot a lot of primes, so to be able to go from 85 to 105 or whatever that works out to be, was really, really beneficial. So, especially on a high resolution sensor, I mean, you're going to crop it anyways. You may as well just do it right then and there and save yourself some work in post. So it'll be kind of cool because I really like to shoot group photos in like family portraits and stuff like that in high res. A lot of people, in my experience, especially parents, like the older generation, those shots are really important to them, so they tend to want to print them bigger. So it could be cool to go through that, and then when we're doing a ceremony or something where there's like a lot more photos happening, to go down to the 25 megapixel medium RAW, which I think I'm going to be shooting on mostly. So like I said earlier, I did do some testing. I think I just trailed off earlier, but I did do testing on the D500, and I mean, I applied the exact same edit across to like a fairly well exposed image. Like I said, I'm remembering now that's what I went through. A fairly well exposed image, and I could not tell the difference between them in terms of quality. In like the final exported image, even at the small RAW, was more than enough for social media purposes. Even for printing, a 5x7 or something, was more than enough resolution for that. Probably even bigger. And so I only imagine that this is gonna have the same quality, but the medium RAW is gonna be a really, really nice 25 megapixel. It's like kind of this real sweet spot. I was really happy with the 20 megapixel files out of the D500. The only reason I really probably will be getting rid of the D500 after this, which I'm shooting this on, is because but I really didn't like the depth that the sensor created. Like, obviously, if you're watching this, you probably have an idea of the difference between APS-C sensors and full frame sensors, and to me, there's a really noticeable difference, and that's why whenever I would shoot, couples portraits or anything of importance, of real importance, I would shoot it full frame because I really liked that depth. I really liked what the fall off that you get moving further and further away from the focus point. It was just much more pleasing. I found the APS-C sensor to just be, the D500s, like the photos are insanely sharp. They're amazing, and that's why I use the D500 for that reason, and the amazing low light autofocus. I use that on the dance floor a lot. And the D500, I'll also use it for details because in the morning, because the files are really, really sharp. The focus is really accurate. I did a whole bunch of, like on all my prime lenses, I did a bunch of AF fine tune, and I plan to do the same thing with this and hopefully copy that across. I don't know if that's going to work, but to second body, I mean. So that's where I've been using the D500, and I think that the D850 is finally going to give me that versatility in one body that I want, right? I'm hoping to see skin tones similar to the D700. I'm not expecting that that's actually going to happen, but maybe pleasantly surprised. I have seen some sample images, although they were not RAW, they were all JPEGs, so not too much work could be done to them, but I'm going to play around with it this weekend. I'm probably going to shoot this camera as my main body. I've got 2 full day weddings. and I'm going to be shooting in a dark church for one of them, and then a really huge hall that I'm going to be using off-camera flash for. The second wedding is going to be outdoors, and the reception will be indoors in a smaller hall. So actually this weekend will give me a really good variety of situations where I'll be shooting a mix of indoor, outdoors, full sun, shade, and we'll be able to see how this sensor renders everything, including the highlights, the lowlights. I'm going to go through medium RAW, full resolution RAW. Probably won't shoot too much full res because the biggest XQD cards I have are 64 gigs, and I should really be ordering some more. I think they're getting back ordered from Lexar because they're out of business. And we'll see after that. I'll probably, if I'm really into it, like I said, I'm going to be buying a second one. If not, if I'm really disappointed, which I just don't see happening, I'll be getting rid of this thing. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be really, really happy with it. It's going to perform really well. It's going to be really snappy, just like the D500, and that's what I love about it. But I've been saying a lot. I apologize. I didn't really write a script or anything like that. I've been rambling, I can tell. I apologize for that. Maybe in the future, if I do continue to make any more videos, I'll just maybe be a little less candid and maybe have some more scripted content for you guys. I hope this has been enjoyable. It was really quick. I've watched other unboxings where they're like super into it and taking stuff out. It's just a product. It's just another, device, and it's just a tool to help you do what you want to do and hopefully do it better. So I'm hoping that, that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to make some more. So I'll see you later, and I'll check back in with you guys after the weekend, tell you how things were. See you later.